digital research is getting a handle on this phenomenon. And if you thought finger wrinkling was related to osmosis, that water enters the finger,
swelling up a layer of skin, and that's what's causing the wrinkles.
It's totally false, unfortunately.
It just seemed to have gotten stuck into the cultural Wikipedia psyche in some sense.
Allow me to introduce you to the finger wrinkle experts.
Einar Wildersmith is my official name.
Tom Smulders, and I'm a senior lecturer at Newcastle University.
I'm a theoretical neurobiologist, and sticking my finger in water to get wrinkling.
They are among a handful of scientists ever to have investigated the finger wrinkling phenomenon, which is actually regulated by your sympathetic nervous system.
The same part of the nervous system that controls heart rate and blood pressure.
In particular, with reference to the hands, the sympathetic nervous system mainly has the function of controlling blood vessel size.
And after you soak in water for a long time, the blood vessels in your hand change size.
When you immersed the hands in the 40 degrees water, which is quite hot, your vessels, despite the heat, actually constricted.
Constricting the vessels means less volume inside of your fingertips.
We think the less volume results in negative pressure and therefore literally pulls the skin above it down.
That's why Wilder-Smith is interested in wrinkly fingers as a possible diagnostic test for nerve function. Then the question is, why do we wrinkle?
My new student, Roman Weber, at the time, thought about it for a while and he said, well, maybe they're rain tricks.
The idea is that water is evacuated by these tiny finger channels, allowing us to grip things better. That's the hypothesis. There are a few lines of evidence for this. One, you only get wrinkles on your feet and hands, where gripping is important. And another has to do with the pattern of the wrinkles.
You could have infinitely many kinds of wrinkle patterns, all types. And of all the infinitely many kinds of wrinkle patterns that could occur, you in fact find the one predicted by the rain trail hypothesis.
Changizi and his team compare the wrinkles on your finger to the river drainage on a mountain, which has a similar topography to your finger, they argue. And they find that the channels on the mountain and the channels on your finger are structured in just the same way.
At the tip of your finger, you have the trunk, and as you go down, it splits, and they split again as you move away.
Providing evidence for the wrinkles as drainage channels hypothesis.
I thought that was just a really clever hypothesis, so we went off and tested it.
And the latest contribution to this body of research, Smulders, publishing in Biology Letters this week, finds that people with wrinkly fingers can move wet objects from one bin to another more quickly than people without wrinkly fingers.
About 12% faster, which is not insignificant, I would say.
Lending a hand to the rain trend hypothesis. But whether the wrinkles are the cause of the better handling?
I'm not sure whether one can say that.
So in other words, the definitive reason for wrinkles, scientists have yet to put.
One way to change our genes is to make new ones, as Craig Venter has so elegantly shown. Another is to change our lifestyles. And what we're learning is how powerful and dynamic these changes can be, that you don't have to wait very long to see the benefits. When you eat healthier, manage stress, exercise, and love more, your brain actually gets more blood flow and more oxygen. But more than that, your brain gets measurably bigger. Things that were thought impossible just a few years ago can actually be measured now. This was figured out by Robin Williams a few years before the rest of us. Now, there's some things that you can do to make your brain grow new brain cells. Some of my favorite things like chocolate and tea, blueberries, alcohol in moderation, stress management, and cannabinoids found in marijuana. I'm just the messenger. What were we just talking about? And other things that can make it worse. It can cause you to lose brain cells, the usual suspects like saturated fat and sugar, nicotine, opiates, cocaine, too much alcohol, and chronic stress. Your skin gets more blood flow when you change your lifestyle, so you age less quickly. Your skin doesn't wrinkle as much. Your heart gets more blood flow. We've shown that you can actually reverse heart disease, that these clogged arteries that you see in the upper left, after only a year, become measurably less clogged. And the cardiac PET scan shown in the lower left, the blue means no blood flow. A year later, orange and white is maximal blood flow. We've shown you may be able to stop or reverse the progression of early prostate cancer, by extension breast cancer, simply by making these changes. We found that tumor growth in vitro was inhibited 70% in the group that made these changes, whereas only 9% in the comparison group. These differences were highly significant. Even your sexual organs get more blood flow, so you increase sexual potency. One of the most effective anti-smoking ads was done by the Department of Health Services, showing that nicotine, which constricts your arteries, can cause a heart attack or a stroke, but it also causes impotence. Half of guys who smoke are impotent. How sexy is that? And we're also about to publish a study, the first study showing you can change gene expression in men with prostate cancer. This is what's called a heat map, and the different colors, and along the side on the right are different genes. And we found that over 500 genes were favorably changed. In effect, turning on the good genes, the disease-preventing genes, turning off the disease-promoting genes. And so these findings, I think, are really very powerful. They're giving many people new hope and new choices. And companies like Navigenics and DNA Direct and 23andMe that are giving you your genetic profiles are getting some people a sense of, gosh, well, what can I do about it? Well, our genes are not our fate, and if we make these changes, they're a predisposition, but if we make bigger changes than we might have made otherwise, we can actually change how our genes are expressed. Thank you.